Today is Saturday, 11th of February 2023. In Indian history, it is celebrated as the birth anniversary of Tilka Manjhi. He had waged a long battle against British rule. He also led the famous Santhal rebellion by the Santhals. The world history on this day, 1858, Lourdes, France, 14-year-old Bernadette, a Soubirous Miller's daughter, first had visions of the Virgin Mary that were authenticated by Pope Pius IX in 1862, initiating the cult of Our Lady of Lourdes. So, starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that resources for states raised sharply in budget, says Nirmala Sitharaman, Finance Minister. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman speaks in Rajya Sabha during the budget session of Parliament in New Delhi on February 2023. The Hindu newspaper states that a battle against child marriage, relatives of two persons who were arrested as a part of crackdown against child marriage breakdown outside a police station in Morigaon district of Assam. The Hindu newspaper also states that air power to play a critical role in deciding outcome of any future conflict. IAF Chief V.R. Chaudhary. Air Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, Chief of the Indian Air Force Staff. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that a first time India-United States exercise includes response to nuke and bioterror attacks. Named Tarkash, the exercise by the National Security Guard and United States Special Operation Forces is currently underway in Chennai. Remember the name Tarkash. NSG US Special Ops Forces stage drills in Chennai. Indian Express also states that Adani Hindenburg Row Supreme Court on markets need to protest investors step up regulation. The Supreme Court bench was hearing two petitions which sought a probe into the report of United States-based short-selling firm Hindenburg Research, which accused the Adani Group of stock manipulation and accounting fraud. The conglomerate, however, has denied the charges. Hindenburg's accusations have rattled investors, with the shares of listed firms of the Adani Group losing United States dollar of 100 billion in value. Indian Express newspaper also states that despite price cap, enough tankers to supply Russian crude to India. According to the industry watchers, through a few older Europe-based shippers have exited the Russian oil export market, through there are enough tankers available to carry our oil from Russia to Indian ports, thus allowing Moscow to ship record volumes into India in January. According to Vortex data, private sector refiners accounted for 47.3% of Russian oil volumes imported into India in January, while public sector refiners such as Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum and Hindustan Petroleum do export fuel of most of their production is consumed in India. The two private sector refiners export a sizable part of their production. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that United States down high altitude object over Alaska. United States President Joe Biden delivers his State of the Union addresses during a joint meeting of Congress in the House chamber of the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. Hindustan Times also states that Turkey-Syria quake 5-day on search of survivors continues, toll nears 24,000. An ambulance waits to evacuate victims as search and rescue operations continue days after a deadly earthquake hit Turkey and Syria in the town of Jindaris in the rebel-held part of Aleppo province on February 10, 2023. The 7.8 magnitude quake early on February 6 has killed more than 20,000 people in Turkey and war-ravaged Syria, according to officials and medics in the two countries' flattening entire neighborhood. Hindustan Times also states that get ready for warmer summer. Scientists says there is a high probability of El Nino onset this year. Pea plants are damaged by drought due to the El Nino weather uh, phenomenon in Madrid municipality and near Bogota, Colombia, January 17, 2016, while flooding. The intense rain wreaked havoc on several countries in Latin America. El Nino brings other harmful effects to Colombia with the severe droughts. Going towards the economy of the country, most Adani shares slide as MSCI peers free float of four firms. Moody's cuts four group entities rating outlook. Employees walk past the Adani House corporate building at the institutional area in Gurugram. Sensex snaps today winning run amid weak global cues. M&M Q3 net rises 35% to 2,677 crore on higher vehicle sales. Consolidated revenue at rupees 30,620 crore, jumped 30% in Mahindra and Mahindra. Industrial output group growth moderates to 4.3% in December 2022. Going towards the world news, including United States says United States says it shot down object over Alaska size of small car. FBI searching Pence home as part of a classified docs probe by Jill Colovin and Eric Tucker. Amsterdam to ban cannabis outdoors in red light district. Russia step up attacks in Ukraine as offensive gather pace. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa declares state of disaster over debilitating electricity crisis. Going towards the science and technology, ISRO successfully launched SSLV's second development flight with 3 satellites from Sriharikota. SSLV D2 took off precisely at 9:18 hours IST on February 10, 2023 from the first launch pad at the Satish Dhawan Space Center SHAR Sriharikota. 3 ancient cities damaged in Turkey, Syria quake. Collapsed buildings are seen through the window of a damaged house following a devastating earthquake in the town of Jinders, Aleppo province, Syria. Thursday, February 9, 2023, the quake that razed thousands of buildings was one of the deadliest worldwide in more than a decade. Stone Age discovery fuels mystery of who made early tools. This photo provided by the Homa Peninsula Paleoanthropology project shows a fossil hippo skeleton and associated old down, although when artifacts at the Nyanga site in southwestern Kenya in July 2016, archaeologists in Kenya have dug up some of the oldest stone tools ever found, dating back to around 2.9 million years ago. But who used them is a mystery. According to a study published in Thursday, February 9, 2023 in the journal Science. Here's a complete capture. 145 bird species spotted during the first bird festival in Sundarbans. Something funky just happened near the sun's north pole. Why it matters? Unique 3D model of the sun with surface activity and solar flares. At last, there's a famous quotation by Rabindranath Tagore, who was a Bengali polymath who worked as a poet, writer, a playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and painter. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as the Indian art with the contextual modernism in the 19th and early 20th century. Rabindranath Tagore states that the most important lesson that man can learn from life is not that there is pain in the world, but that it is possible for him to transmute it into joy. Okay, thank you.